Here's how I learned Chinese. So, learning Chinese was a very, and still is a very long, arduous process. It's really tough, really tough to learn a second language, let alone a second language that is so different from um, traditional English or any nomadic language or any Germanic language. Um, the languages that are close to English are more easier to learn. For example, um, Afrikaans, Spanish, German, Norwegian. These languages are much more easier to learn for a native English speaker. However, as you learn Asian languages like Thai, Vietnamese, Korean, and especially Chinese, your understanding of language learning is tested. That's because Chinese has different phonics that are completely different from English, as well as they also have different tones. So each letter each letter has a different phonetic sound, and also each letter can be sounded in a different tone. So it makes learning Chinese a little more difficult. However, there are ways that you can practically improve your Chinese. Should you want to move to China or travel to China in the future, or even live in China, or maybe your partner or friend is Chinese, so you want to relate to them more better, understand them better, then these are some ways you can learn Chinese. The first way is to get a teacher. Get a teacher, ask them to teach you the basics, and this will basically help you out a lot. The second way is to learn the phonics. You have to learn the phonics and you have to learn the tones. These are the basis of learning Chinese. If you learn the phonics, you learn the tones, and you master them, then you will be able to pronounce Chinese much more easier. And these are essential building blocks for you to learn Chinese. The way I practiced is I learned the tones, I learned the phonics, and then I started practicing speaking every day, speaking to people on the street. When people ask me questions, I try and understand what they're saying to me. If I don't know a word, I would use my translator program and I would learn that word. Um, and then I would expose myself to a lot of Chinese, meaning I don't mean indecently expose myself. I mean go out, speak to people, watch movies, watch television, um, listen to as much Chinese as I can, and learn new words. I would practice using the Duolingo app, um, practice Chinese for about 10 minutes a day, and then I would also get on a call with my friends and practice there. Sometimes I wouldn't know what they're talking about, but I would still try and speak anyway. In the beginning, it's very difficult, very difficult. But as you speak and listen, speak and listen, speak and listen, there will be that one time where you're like, oh, I can have a basic conversation. I'm at the level now where I can have a basic conversation with somebody, get around pretty easily. Um, if I'm sick, I can go to the hospital myself and tell the doctor, this is what's wrong with me. Um, yeah, and that brings me to my fourth point when you're learning Chinese is you learn uh, Chinese by topic. So, oh, these are the fruits. Okay, I need to learn all the fruits. So, when the next time you go to a supermarket, you practice the words of the fruit. Uh, like apple is a pingo, or banana is a shangjiao, or pineapple is bolo. So you practice when you go to the supermarket, and then you learn your related terms to. If you want to go to the hospital, you learn your related terms to the hospital. Um, 我有感冒, I have a cold. Um, so you can converse in that. So you learn a set of vocabulary and then you go out and practice using that vocabulary. Generally, general conversations follow the same tone, it follows the same sentence pattern, And so you can easily get by knowing a few words and a few sentences. And then once you've got that baseline, you just learn more and more vocabulary and you practice that vocabulary. One of the ways I also found that was really helpful to practice my pronunciation was using a translator program. So instead of speaking in English and translating to Chinese, I would speak in Chinese and see if my English meaning was correct. So if I wanted to say, "Hello, how are you?" I would speak in Chinese, and I would speak in Chinese, and the translator, if it translated "Hello, how are you" correctly, then I know I'm correct with my pronunciation. And sometimes it wasn't correct, and sometimes I had to practice over and over and over and over again until I got it. But if you want to learn a second language, especially Chinese, this is the way you practice. You speak, you listen. You go out, you speak. You take every opportunity that you can to speak. You take every opportunity that you can to read characters, to understand the characters, to listen to a new word, to learn a new word. And yeah, so guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.